would like to discuss with you people, that will be next important topic, that is called as fistulas of the urinary tract. Fistulas of the urinary tract. So when I'm talking to you people about fistulas of the urinary tract, what do you know about them? What do you know about fistulas of the urinary tract? So basically these fistulas. Fistula means what? They're normal connections or abnormal connections?
Abnormal connection.
So they're abnormal connection. Okay, if they're abnormal connections, from where to where possible, where and all fistulas can form? Where and all where it can form?
Vaginal fistula.
Okay, vaginal fistula. Then what else? What else?
Rectal urethral.
Rectal urethral. Rectal urethral. Not really. Rectal urethral. Okay, urethral I was about to say. Okay, rectal urethral. Then perineal. Okay, then
Vesicourethral.
vesicourethral. Okay, then so guys, we will start discussing now. What do you have here in the posterior most aspect? So esophageal fistulas are not in the urinary tract. Now you are absolutely right, fistulas can occur in esophagus, etc., etc. But listen to me very carefully. I want to discuss with you people the basic anatomy, then we will continue. Okay, now look here. Can you people notice this particular aspect? This is your uterus. Okay, now uterus followed by, this is your urinary bladder. Behind you have your rectum. Behind there is a rectum. Now in middle you can follow this brown color thin line here. What is this? This is your vagina of the female. Now here you have a anal canal and here you have a urethra. Okay, now listen to me. Urethra is coming out from the bladder. Now when I want to discuss you with the fistulas, let me make even a simplified diagram. That is your what? That is your urinary bladder. Now this is your urinary bladder of the female and urethra. Followed by that, here you have this ureters. Okay, now right along with the, here if you can notice this picture, along with this vagina, wherever it is passing, basically vagina is something going like this. Yes or no? Means right next to the urinary bladder. Okay, now when it is going like this, where and all fistulas can occur? The first location where fistula can occur is this one. What is the name of the fistula? Ureterovaginal fistula. Ureterovaginal fistula. Okay, now what is this fistula called as? Second one. It is connecting from where to where, my dear students? Vagina to urinary. See, this is your urinary bladder. Okay, now where it is connecting? Please tell me. From whom to whom? Bladder to vagina. We call it as vesico. Vesico means what? Vesico means bladder, and this is your vaginal. Vesico-vaginal fistula. Vesico-vaginal fistula. Okay. Now what about this one, guys? Somebody answered. Ureterovaginal fistula. Okay. Now you have ureterovaginal fistula, vesicovaginal fistula, and ureterovaginal fistula. Now when I'm talking about these vaginal fistulas, my dear students, the first and most important thing, they are connecting to whom? See, we have other fistulas also. I will talk about the other fistulas, but I want to discuss with you people the fistulas which I have written, which is connecting to urinary tract. So the fistulas which are connecting to urinary tract. Now please tell me, ureterovaginal fistula, whatever is present here, ureterovaginal fistula, whatever is present here, please tell me, my dear students, will the urine be continuously flowing or not continuously flowing?
Not continuous.
Not continuous.
This is the mistake what you make. What is the mistake you make? Because ureters are continuously sending urine into the bladder. Bladder is collecting the urine. From there, whenever bladder is filled and urge there, that is the time you urinate. So all the time urine will be flowing. What type of urinary incontinence this female will develop? Dribbling incontinence. What is this? Dribbling incontinence. Incontinence means what? Ability to hold the urine or inability to hold the urine? Incontinence.
Inability to
hold the urine. Now what happens? Ureters always have urine in them. Okay? Always have urine in them, because kidney is forming 200 ml of urine at once, send it to the bladder and keep quiet, or kidney is continuously forming the urine?
Continuous forming.
That continuously formed urine is stored. Matlab, urinary bladder is like a tank which is getting filled. Now please tell me, will your bladder always be filled, or sometimes it will get empty, or sometimes always it will have some quantity of urine?
Always have some quantity.
So listen to me. Someone, Suraj asked me to repeat. Please listen to me. Your kidney forms the urine continuously. That continuously formed urine will be flowing through your ureters continuously. Clear so far? If it is flowing through your ureters continuously, if there is a connection from ureter to vagina, there will be always flowing of urine. So there will be dribbling incontinence. Clear? Pakka. Shall I proceed further? Okay. The next important aspect that we have is called as vesicovaginal fistula. What is this vesicovaginal fistula, my dear students? That is from the bladder to vagina. So you people are absolutely right. Bladder will be always having some quantity of urine. After urination also, can you have some quantity of urine left in the bladder? Yes, there will be small quantity of urine which will be always present. So what type of incontinence will be present here also? Dribbling incontinence. But here what happens? In ureterovaginal fistula? Now,
Only HM.
when will urine pass through urethra? Only during the time of urination. If urine is passing only during the time of urination, so the female will have what? Passing of urine when? Passing of urine, when is that? At all the time of urination from the vagina also. So she will have passing of urine from vagina, and as well as from where? And from your urethra, and from the urethra. These are the complaints which you should always know to find out what? The fistulas which are present. Everybody clear so far? Now, when I'm talking about ureterovaginal fistula, first thing, ureterovaginal fistula, it is usually caused by what? Can anybody tell me why ureterovaginal fistula can occur? Why it can occur? So that the urethral vaginal fistula is occurring during the penetrating traumas to the perineum. It occurs as a penetrating traumas. Okay. Now what about your vesicovaginal fistula? When does vesicovaginal fistula occurs? Vesicovaginal fistula, when does it occur? It is usually occurring after something called as wartime hysterectomy. After wartime hysterectomy. What is wartime hysterectomy? It is a technique of removing what? Removing of your uterus in a female. Everybody clear so far? Everybody clear so far? Now, when I'm talking about uretrovaginal fistula, that occurs most usually during obstructive labor. Obstructive labor. We will understand obstructive labor during the discussion of our obstetrics. Clear everybody so far about the causes? About the symptoms? Clear about the symptoms? Pakka? What are those symptoms? That's basically your incontinence. Everybody clear? Shall I proceed further or not?
Yes, we.
Okay.
Okay. So if at all you are clear about this much, now we are going to proceed towards the understanding something called as screening test. What is that called as? Screening test. When we are proceeding for the screening test, my dear students, we have for all these three fistulas, we have one important aspect of test that is called as methylene blue. What is that? 3 swab test. Methylene blue 3 swab test. What is the name of the test? We have something called as methylene blue 3 swab test. Now I want you people to just know the name of it, and I'll show you a simplified picture of this methylene blue 3 swab test. Now look here. If there is see what we do, we place 3 cotton swabs. Everybody clear so far? Where we are placing? Where we are placing the cotton swabs? Please tell me where we are placing them. In the vagina. Of the female. Now what we do is that we put our methylene blue into the bladder. Once we put the methylene blue into the bladder, we will be able to find out if these two are getting blue in color. If these two gets blue colored, then what we are able to understand? We are able to understand either this is the fistula or this is the fistula. If not means if this one does not, if this one is clean, if this one comes out clean, we can think of uretrovaginal fistula. But can it give a confirmatory clear diagnosis, my dear students? No. So what is the diagnostic technique? What is the diagnostic technique we are going to do? Screening test we are done with methylene blue 3 swab test. What is the diagnostic? Tell me diagnostic. How do we diagnose? We do something called as fistulogram. What is this fistulogram? Fistulogram again lies the principle here only. Now look here. Can you see this picture? Now what I'll do is that I will inject my contrast. I will inject the contrast into the urinary bladder. Then I take a picture. Then I will be able to see the communication at what level it is present as or no. By looking at that communication, I will be able to find out what is that. That is your what? That is your fistulas. That is only called as fistulogram. Once you found out the fistula, what will be the treatment, my dear students? Treatment. So treatment again divided into preoperative, then operation. Then we do operative treatment, and then the next important aspect, post-operative care, because all these three things are important. Now, once I know the fistula where it is present, what I'm going to do in the preoperative time, I want to keep the bladder empty so that my surgery will be easier. So if I want to keep the bladder empty, always we need to what? We need to have the Foley's catheter placed. So we need to keep the bladder empty. Now operative, what we are going to do? We are going to do something called as, what is that? Can anybody tell me? The technique what we do? That is called as layer operation. We do something called as layer operation. What is this layer operation? Basically, we are going to cut down these fistulas and repair the area wherever there was an extra communication occurring. We repair that area. That is your layer operation. But post-operative is most important. Why the post-operative is most important? Because in post-operative, first and foremost important care is that Foley's catheter. Why Foley's catheter has to be placed? Why Foley's catheter has to be placed? Can anybody tell me? Why do we give Foley's catheter? सोचो Foley's catheter क्यों रखनी चाहिए? Because if we keep the bladder empty, the new communication, new repair, whatever is there, after repairing, that area will not open up again by keeping the bladder always empty. So Foley's catheter for lifetime or few time? So until the wound heals, basically a Foley's catheter up to 2 weeks, And next important advice what we give, no pregnancy till when? No pregnancy till 2 years after the operation, That is one more important, because if the female gets pregnancy again, she might have the recurrence of the fistula possible. That is why we will advise female not to get pregnant for 2 years. Everybody clear so far, my dear students? Everything? Chalo. So with this, we will finish the class here for today. And see you people in the